Missing follow-ups is costing you money. Forgetting another important date in your client's customer journey is costing you opportunities. So in this video, I'm gonna be showing you how to automate date-based outreach so you never miss a deal again. So let's get started. What's gonna happen here is we're gonna use an underutilized and underrated function in HighLevel called the custom date reminders. And we're gonna couple these. That means we're gonna add to this the math functions in HighLevel for date purposes. So if you're manually tracking, let's say policy expirations, appointment follow-ups, contract renewals, etc., you're not gonna be able to remember every single date for every client. Something always slips through. So the solution is using custom date reminders. So I'm gonna show you in workflows something we can do here. So for this client, I have a workflow which does the following. Whenever it hits the pipeline stage, refill pipeline, ready for pickup shipment, this is for people who are ordering medicines, okay? Medicines, injections, etc. What's gonna happen is we're gonna use something called the math function, math operations, and there is a field called the last refill date. And in the last refill date, what's gonna happen is we're gonna add 90 days to it. And then it's gonna update another field called next refill date. Now, for this to work, those two custom fields need to be date fields, okay? Those two custom fields need to be date fields. Otherwise, if they are not date fields, you're not gonna be able to see them here. Only fields that are date fields, if you wanna use math operation for dates, then they need to be date fields. So I'm gonna give a little bit more context here. HighLevel detects what type of fields they are. And if you wanna use math operations, they can be either numerical fields, they can be monetary fields, or they can be date fields. For example, if there's a numerical field, I'm going to show you an example of a numerical field, the free testosterone, then you can add a number. For example, you can add to the free testosterone, right? You can add 10, or let's say 0.5. Now, if this field is a date field, for example, last refill date, right? If it's a date field, then it's going to give you options to add, subtract, days, months, and years. In this case, we want to add 90 days to the last refill date, and that addition is going to update another field called the next refill date. So here's how we're going to use this. I'm going to show you another workflow where everything is going to make sense. So you saw how in that workflow, I was adding numbers to an existing date. Then here's the purpose. I want the client to be reminded 90 days from today's date, which is, whenever this event happened, I want them to be reminded. So then we're going to use a trigger, which is called custom date reminders. So if you see here in this workflow, there is a trigger. Do you see this workflow over here? So what's happening here? This workflow has a trigger, which is called custom date reminder. Okay, so the custom date reminder is only going to run on a certain date. So here's how you do this. You need to filter which fields have this. For example, this field over here, which is the next refill date, for example, we can add another filter, which is before number of days. So here's what we want to do here in this case. 7 days before the next refill date, which was set up in the last workflow from the math operation, we want to inform the client. We want to send them an SMS and an email to notify them that the refill is due. And then they need to fill out a form to get the next refill. So this is just an example of how you can use the custom date reminders coupled with math operations to set due date based workflows. Now, if this video helps, check my description below to join my community where I teach things like this, topics like this, custom build outs, how to deliver better results to your clients, how to deliver customizable customer journey to your clients using HighLevel, then check my description in the video where I teach 2 calls a week on how to do things like this.